હેલો એવરીવન, અત્યારે બપોરના 2 વાગ્યા છે અને અમે અત્યારે ક્રૂઝમાં 70 કિલોમીટર અંદર આમ જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. અમારા પાયલોટે ક્રૂઝ ચાલુ કરી દીધી છે.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Thunderbird. Now, if we just get everyone's attention for a moment, we'll go through a couple of quick safety pointers before we get too far into the cruise. Our most important piece of safety equipment on board any vessel is going to be life jackets. On board Thunderbird, down in the main cabin, there is 4 cupboards of jackets up the very front of the boat. There is a cupboard of jackets on the left-hand side of the kiosk, looking from the back to the front of the boat. And there are some cupboards upstairs in the wheelhouse, either side of myself. There's also some Carly floats out on the front deck and some life rings on the top deck here. On board today there is Cheryl, Glenn and myself, James. Now we are on here for your safety.
આપણા ક્રૂઝના
So if you have any questions, please don't
કેપ્ટનનું નામ
hesitate to
જેમ્સ છે
ask.
અને જેમ્સ
Also, if
અત્યારે
anyone's using the toilets during the cruise, there is what they call a combing or a step just around the bottom of the doorway as you enter, so please just mind your footwork. And we do have a few children on board the boat. If we can just have their attention and that of the parents. Our children may walk around the boat as much as your parents will allow you, but please do not run. Also out on the open decks, the rails around, these rails are to keep you in, not to climb up and down. Now we're out for about 2.5 hours today, which will run up Breeze Channel, back to Bombay Bay, around the
રાયાજીની
shore,
ફોટા પડા જો લાગુ
part of Lake King, Lake Victoria, rounding Rabbit Island, returning home about 4:30. We'll also try and give a bit of a commentary as we run along, but if there's something we don't go through or you'd like to know more about, please, once again, don't hesitate to ask. Now the stretch of water on here at the present time is Cuttingham Arm, and Lakes Entrance at one stage was known as Cuttingham. Before this entrance, ahead of us was opened up and renamed Lakes Entrance. Now Lakes Entrance still has one of the largest fishing fleets in Australia, with some of the craft being only Seine trawlers, Soderboard trawlers, there is shark boats, and then in seasons there's prawn, cray, scallop and squid boats. That was back in about 1993-94. They had one of the best scallop seasons on record, and about 30 out-of-town boats came over and worked out of Blake. And when all the scallop boats were working, there was nearly $1 million worth of scallops leaving Lakes Entrance each week. 90% of those are exported, and they mainly went over to France. 70% of Australian flathead is all still caught out the front of lakes here. The co-op that will pass off to our right here at the moment supplies both Melbourne and Sydney fish markets. Area passing on our left is the new works. Main jetty coming up ahead of us here is the Flagstaff jetty. These homes that are passing on our left, a lot have disappeared over the years, but these homes were built for the workmen and families, accommodation for them close to their jobs. As this entrance will pass shortly, it was man-made. It did take about 20 years to complete, so they virtually have their own little township over here, having their own school and church.
Pelican.
Homes that are passing off to our left these days are only allowed to be used as holiday homes. Not allowed to do any real structural work to them, just a coat of paint to keep them neat and tidy. They're not allowed to live in them permanently, rent them out or sell them at all. There is one person in charge of each house. If that person happens to pass away, it has to go to an immediate family member. If there's no immediate family member, it'll be taken over by the government and just pulled down, which is a bit of a shame. So there's not many left over here, only about 10 or a dozen, so some very lucky people. Larger blue white craft off to our right is the Tommy Norton. This is what they call a hopper barge or a hopper dredge. That's our offshore dredge. So they pump all the sand here on the Barnabas Strait, actually pick up all the sand on board that craft and then take the sand about 5 kilometres out to sea and dump the sand out there further. Area passing on our right is Bullock Island. The buildings on the corner belong to Left Coal, which is a local fishermen's cooperative. This is where the trawlers and shark boats come and unload their catch and reload with ice. They can make up to 36 tonnes of ice in 24 hours to accommodate a fishing fleet. They do have a public viewing platform over there. It is very interesting to see one of the boats come and unload. They also have a fresh fish outlet shop over here as well. You can come over and purchase some of the local catch. Coming up on our left here, running out between the two rock walls, is the only entrance to the Gippsland Lakes. It was man-made, opened back on the 14th of June 1889. So it'll be back straight off to our left. Now there always was a natural entrance to the Gippsland Lakes, which was situated about 6 kilometres down to the east, which is down behind us. That one used to silt up every now and then, so they needed a more permanent one. Once this one off to our left was opened up, the original one closed up and has never reopened since. It's actually part of the Lakes Entrance Golf Course now. Entrance to Australia there behind us, very calm out there today compared to how it can get. Water that runs off to our left now, Hopetown Channel. Little jetty off to our left in the mouth of Hopetown Channel is Drew's Jetty, or locally known as the West Side. Now if you were going to get put off onto that jetty on our left and wanted to get back to Lakes Entrance, unless you're a pretty good swimmer to swim across the entrance behind us there, you'd be looking at a walk of nearly 300 kilometres. You'd have to walk right around the edge of the lake system, all the way up to the city of Sale, before being able to get back to Lakes Entrance. And the large steel structure ahead of us here, right up on top of the hill on the point, is the main navigation line to the port, on a clear night visible about 20 kilometres out to sea. And you have the Princess Highway running down the side of the hill.
આવી રીતે બે માળની આ ગ્રુપ છે નીચે ઉતરી બધા અમારે આજે અહીંયા ભેડનો પ્રોગ્રામ છે બધા અત્યારે બેસી ગયા છે.